A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Armour Detail Supply Hero Rinseless Wash. So a rinseless wash is an alternative to contact wash shampoo, but rather than it being all foamy and detergenty and being rinsed off, it's more of a flatter chemical that stays on the car. You don't rinse it off and you dry the car after you've contact cleaned it with the material on. And it's a quick way to wash your car, but you can incorporate these products into a full wash routine with pre-wash, jet wash it down, and then rinseless wash it, dry it, detail spray it if you like it. Some of them, you know, can also add a little bit of a hydrophobic thing, so you might not need a drying aid, or you can use them indeed as a drying aid, some of them. Now, this Armour Detail Supply, let's just start with the basics. This bottle of 473ml cost me around £18, which translates to a cost per litre of around £38. And it translates to a cost per wash of around £2.24, which I think might be second highest out of all of the ones I've looked at. So the short answer is it's a very expensive rinseless wash in the UK. Yes, you can buy a US gallon of it, I believe, which will get the cost per wash down. But relative to other products in this format, in this size, it's very, very expensive. It can cost you 3 to 4 times per wash the amount of some of the other ones in the test. So that's the market information that we have to do. They always tend to do a good preamble on the product and good instructions, and this is a reasonably versatile product. You can pre-soak it, use it as a clay lubricant, waterless wash. There's other things you could probably clear up on there, and whether it's good for interior, exterior glass, interior door panel wipe downs, and you know, can you wipe over your leather with it? Because some of them you sort of say you can. So they could go further, but maybe reading that you can't. You just follow it for those purposes. And of course, I think the font size on this is too small and needs to be blown up. It gets even smaller down there. They've got a nice QR code which goes off to their website. I'd love to see on their website some more content around using rinseless wash, because I think people really love that buy-in, whereas this tends just to go to their site where you can buy it. But it does link to their socials, and I could go trawling around their socials and probably find some good information. But it's nice if it's just there when you click on the QR code and you can get like them doing an overview of their own product, if you like. So this product is used at the magic ratio of 1 to 256, which works out about 40ml to 10 litres or 20ml to 5 litres. But I love the fact they just put, do they just put ratios on there? They do. They put ratios and sort of an amount per amount. Love it to be in millilitres, but I don't. It's an American-based product, so they really have to go for what people use there. So it mixes down straight into the bucket, doesn't it? Some of them don't. Some of them are a bit less water-soluble, and they need to be sort of disturbed more. That's very disturbing, John, to get them all mixed out. But it's very water-miscible and thin, this. It's like putting water in water. So that's a good thing, and it doesn't also, when you leave this here like in a bucket, the next day it doesn't separate. Some of them you get like an oily silicone film on the top of them, or bits in them. Yeah, so it doesn't do that, which makes me think it's more sort of less about putting a lubricant in there and more about a sort of surfactant-based, polymer-based type of thing, rather than a sort of surfactant with lubrication, if you like. Now, I love the fact they put in there to pre-soak it, because I think that's a really good idea. You can see here actually, guys, well, before I get stuck in, just one thing I noticed where I waterless washed or rinseless washed this car previously, just right in the edge there was like a layer of dirt that I didn't get because it all gets wet when you've got the sponge there, but unless you poke right in there, it doesn't get it clean. The same within here, because I was lazy and I didn't poke in there. There was little bits of dirt and kind of product residues that you don't get. It's nothing to do with the product, really. It's to do with learning how to use the product and me being a bit lazy. So I think if you're going to do bloody waterless, rinseless wash, I really always think it's a good idea to have one of these soft tip brushes or a hog's hair brush. But these are quite good for just gently kind of getting in those crevices like there, and then making sure you've got all the bits out of those crevices. It's still difficult to dry in there, isn't it? Oh, there must be some surfactant in that. So yeah, that's important. And the same with like down here. So I could be like, if I do that, that little ridge is actually clean when I dry off the car. But if I don't, you can't get the sponge or the mitt in there so well. Now, I think it's a really great idea to pre-spray your car with this, because it just gives a solution a chance to soak out on all the dirty bits, you know. So it's like, it's just, and it's easy. I hate those pump, or hate's a strong word, but I don't like the pump foamers because they slow me down, and every time I go to use them, they're clogged up, and I have to change the filter. And, you know, I just want to pick this up and use it. But these pump sprayers, I think, are really, really good, because there's never any maintenance on them as far as I know, and they always just work. And you're still getting the material out over the car. You're actually probably even getting the material out better. I mean, you see so many demos with those pump sprayers, and they've pumped the hell out of them, you know, and then you'll never see the pumping. They'll edit to the next time they've pumped it, because the pump to stuff coming out ratio is ridiculous. But you can see this thing's still going, and I didn't pump the hell out of it. I just pumped it. Just give it a good pump. So these products are really good, and really the foam it's just sort of aerating it, or whatever it's called, aerating it to make foam, which people like, and it gives a good experience. But when you buy into these rinseless washes, you can abandon the concept of foam being useful. You can liberate yourself, and really it's just material acting on a surface, and the foam doesn't do much. The cling argument never really washes with me. The thing with pre-washes is it's that generation of the bubble, the rapid accumulation, as Bill Hamber say, that generates a little bit of movement as the bubbles kind of form and pull to the surface. It just moves. It creates a movement which can shift the dirt a little bit. But generally, I'm not sure about foaming and all that. Well, you know how I feel about all of this stuff. Now, I've actually finished my rinseless wash comparison. They're all in the box there. I've actually finished it. So I've got my thoughts on this Armour. I've got my thoughts on it, but I can tell you now from using it, you are not going to have any problems really. All of these rinseless washes, when you mix them down at these low concentration ratios, 1 to 2, 5, 6, or some of them even more concentrated, the predominant ingredient that you're using is water. 256 cubes of water, I think ice cubes, and 1 cube of this material dispersed out amongst those 256 ice cubes of water. So very small amounts of surfactant are at play here as a ratio. And our ability as human beings to judge the different impact of those low concentrations is limited. So this comes down to being a bit like glass cleaners, where they all sort of work, and found doing the test very difficult. Oh, we've got a poke in there as well, because you get a whole load of little watermarks in there, and under there, and on the top. Right, have I done that? Well, let's do along that bottom seal. I think I probably missed half this calf talking. Let's do this again. But you can see, you know, essentially it's fine. Now, my personal preference, and I was just talking about how you gauge these, is that this product might not be as slidey when wet as some of the other ones. And that might be down to some of the other ones literally putting in some other materials to make them slidey that might not be that beneficial, or some people might choose not to use those in their waterless wash. I said it again, rinseless wash. So it might just be more of a pure kind of surfactant-y one. This product does have some claim to fame though, with a few things that it does really well, and I won't spoil the surprise. But the main thing is that I promise you, when you use it, you will not have any dramas. I mean, I've just washed the entire side of the car. Figuring doing the entire car is a bit long-winded, and I can take my drying towel, which isn't bone dry actually, but it's fine, and you just dry it off. And one of the strengths of this product is when you're doing the drying, out of all of them, it doesn't seem to haze out too much, and it's quite easy to just get that car back to a nice shine without. Some of them have a film over them, you know, when you wipe and you see like a film, and then that film, I've talked about this before, it fades away, but some of them, the film seems a bit like sort of hazy and more noticeable, and you can feel a slight sliminess. And some of them, oh, there's a bit of dirt still there. Well, there you go. That's one of the advantages of these. But this one is very good when you just towel it. You don't get any of that, which is really nice actually. So it's very easy just to do a quick rinseless wash on your car and get, like, you know, get that panel from dirty to clean. That's the sort of haze thing I'm talking about. It will, you know, you will get a bit of it of all of them. It's because there's a little bit of water as well, but it just seems to be less than some of the others. So the reality of this product is your results are going to be less down to which rinseless wash you use and more down to just you being thorough. But there is nothing with this particular one that you need to worry about other than the price. And here's the problem. There's a lot of competent offerings of rinseless washes on the market. There really is. And if one is, in your opinion, slightly better than another, I'm telling you now, it's only going to be like 1% there. It's going to be a tiny thing that you're drawn to, because fundamentally they all seem to work. A bit like taking a car shampoo that you use at 1 to 250 roughly. You know, you put it in the bucket, it's going to foam up, it's going to give you a good experience, but they're all going to fundamentally work because they're not that complicated and they're not trying to be too clever. So that is your dilemma. Oh God, I've got a sneeze coming. It's coming. It's coming. Where's it going? Oh, it's going tingly now. I think it's going. So your dilemma. Oh Jesus! Your dilemma as a guy buying these is, or girl, we're inclusive on this channel, is, do you really buy into the products enough that you're going to spend 3 to 4 times the cost per wash on one product to another? Can you spot the differences enough to justify that cost? And outside of my testing, with me, I look at it that if I have a favourite that's really good, I could quantify, like, I prefer it. It's 10% better than another one, for example, but it's 4 times more expensive, then that's not enough performance. It would have to be doing something crazy over the other one for me to pay 3 or 4 times the cost per wash, because I get a sinking feeling that I'm paying too much. And I probably am if I'm paying 3 or 4 times the cost, don't I? So yeah, I've always included that thought process in how I test. And typically, you know, we look at all these and reward cost per wash. But yeah, I want to keep these individual videos on a little bit more of a positive note, because if I wasn't cross-comparing them and I bought a bottle of Armour, Detail Supply Hero, I'd be convinced, and I'd only tried one other, for example, and I bought this, I'd be really happy with it. And I would be the sort of guy that would go onto a forum and say, I'm using Armour, and I'm really happy with it. And I am. But when you've got a box full of them, and you're trying to separate them, your mindset and your opinion just completely changes, because you, like I say, you're working your way through them all and thinking, wow, I'm happy with this one as well. Well, I'm happy with this one. I'm happy with this one. There's a few that I can rule out not based on price, and that's because I just don't. This is outside of my testing, but it's like I'm looking for. I think the Americans have got this kind of thing nailed with how these work. So I like the ONR, I like the McKees, I like the DIY, I like the Armour. The Wolfgang, I like it, but it's like this. It's got some slidey lubricant in it, I think, and I'm not sure if I want that, but it's a decent product. The Labo I don't want because of the sealant in it. There's two really powerful cleaning ones in here that are kind of good. The P&S is kind of quite slick, but it's not as water soluble as all the others. Yeah, so it's very difficult. So there you go. Hopefully you can get some thoughts on it. But there is a party trick with the Armour that it did well in one particular lab style test. I emphasised the word style because this is far from a lab, isn't it? Like an idiot in his garage, really. But I'm just trying to. I'm trying my best to just separate these, but it's literally an idiot in his garage trying to separate them. So there you go. But yeah, you won't find, if you give it a good wipe properly, your car will be clean. It won't be scratched to hell. The more you ask of the product, like if this was covered in dirt and I'm just going in contact washing it, the more you expect of the product, the less you're going to get, and the more you rely on yourself, you know, being careful, using them properly. And these are just tools that can do a job on your car. Still a lot of cynics that don't think they work or anything, but they'll save you money. Anything that saves me money isn't snake oil. Snake oil is stuff which is more like, looks great, like the foamy shampoos and stuff, which are expensive. That's more snake oil than using a bucket of flat material to clean off dirt, but trusting that it's going to be fine if you're careful. Yes, the dry down is so important. You know, it is so important. And this towel's actually a bit damp, and it kind of works well. You don't get it bone dry when the towel's a bit damp, but it feels nice and slidey still, and it's picked up, you know, all of the rinseless as you wipe it over, which probably builds up a little bit of lubrication in the towel. But going back to that point, you know, when you get bad results with it, and I just noticed there when the light's on this bit, get out of the way. Oh, you can't see it, can you? If I come over here, the camera's blocking it, but there's still a little film of dirt there because I haven't gone in and prodded the top of that properly. So you see when I go and do it, it will clean it. Now it's clean. It's so easy to miss a bit on a car because there's so many surfaces, there's so many hidden bits, there's so many crevices. So when you contact wash, you can miss them. When you're pressure washing, just that bit of push from the pressure washer over that is just a little flick of the wrist. You don't have to bend down and get close to it all the time. Imagine you've got to bend down on every bit and contact them. So yeah, it's not the most thorough wash method, but like I say, it's up to you. Change your process. Pre-wash first. Get the pressure washer out if you want to, then use them. So there we go. Armour Detail Supply is without doubt a quality rinseless wash, a really high quality product, but very expensive. And watch my rinseless wash mega test best of comparison coming soon to see where it ranks with 12 other market leading rinseless washes. But apart from that, I'm going to turn the camera off, finish washing off the rest of my car. I'm going to do the wheels as well at the end, and then I'll have a 95% clean car with bits that I miss. This car will have been washed 12 times consecutively with rinseless washes. I'm looking forward to just busting all the gear out and giving it a proper wash at some point because it needs it. But anyway, over and out. Let me know your thoughts on this product in the comments. Thank you.